Hi, Linwood Monroe Arts Plus Elementary. Welcome to the Harner Farm. I'm Kristen. This is Steve. Keith is in the 3rd grade and 9 years old. And Sam is 6 and in kindergarten. We'll help I grew up in southwestern Minnesota near a small town called Tracy on a farm where my family still farms, raising corn, soybeans, alfalfa, and beef cattle. When I grew up, we also raised pigs and oats. I then went to South Dakota State University and majored in animal science and also studied agricultural marketing and agricultural business.
Hi, I'm Steve. I grew up on a farm in Ohio. On the family farm there, we had dairy cattle. We also raised corn, soybeans, oats, and alfalfa. We sold a lot of hay to horse farms. Besides the conventional crops and stuff that we grew on our farm, we also had fish. I grew up on that farm in Ohio. I went to college there and got an associate's degree in wildlife and fisheries management. I then went on to South Dakota State University. I majored in wildlife and fisheries management. I got a degree, a bachelor's degree in that, and that's also where I met my wife. So now we live here in Northfield and we farm here on this farm.
We run a CSA, which is a community-supported agriculture farm. CSA stands for Community Supported Agriculture. And that is different from the type of farm that either Steve or I grew up with, but we both grew up with gardens. And so we applied the knowledge that we have from our gardening and the knowledge that we learned growing other crops to our CSA. So what a community supported agriculture or a CSA farm is that our shareholders will buy a share in receiving fruits and vegetables or a box of produce each week for 16 to 18 weeks during the growing season in Minnesota. So usually our CSA deliveries or pickups will start the first week of June and run through the end of September. And then the families who are our shareholders come out to our place and pick up their box of produce that we have harvested for them that day. So as you look at our CSA behind us, we've actually expanded it this year and went into a larger area of our field. We started in a smaller area here in our grass area, which we turned into a rotational pasture area for our hens as they are maturing. And behind us, you'll see that we have planted field roads. So we have made the area into smaller fields so that we could rotate more efficiently, and also so that we could have different sections or fields. So we have a crop of vines, we have different areas for potatoes, another field for our sweet corn, another area for our broom corn and our popcorn and our sunflowers. And then the area closest to me, where you'll see that we don't have a solid cover crop planted, that's where we planted more of our lettuces, our tomatoes, our cabbages, and that type of thing. The reason that there are areas that don't have a cover crop on them is because they were crops that we harvested later on in the season. They were the last crops that we pulled out of the ground. And so we weren't able to get a cover crop planted before it started to get cold and we started to get a lot of rain.
On our CSA here, we all kind of have our own little niche jobs that we kind of do. Overall, I guess what I do is kind of the tillage of the fields, get them all ready to kind of go. We have an irrigation system, a drip line irrigation systems. We have a big tank that we catch our rainwater off our buildings off of. We take that water and gravity feed it down through lines that we bury in the ground. Kristen kind of takes care of the layout of the garden, where everything is going to be planted, marks it all down, keeps track of what's there and where, when we plant it and how often we rotate things around. The boys are kind of in charge of picking and cleaning, weeding. Keith here does a lot of the tillage now also. We have a small garden tractor he can drive around. Does a lot of the dragging and getting the ground all leveled out. Sam's working on that too. He just can't quite reach the pedals yet.
Yeah.
So they do a lot of the weeding, like I said, the weeding, a lot of the bugs,